Hello, my name is Staci Lambright and I'm with Akron Office Space, and today we're here with Bill Kirk of AngelFax, and we're going to talk to him today about this organization and the service that it provides so that our viewers can learn a little bit more about what it is. So welcome. Thank you for
Staci.
coming.
Appreciate you having me.
Yes, I do want to know a little bit more about this. It's a local business, correct?
Correct.
And how did you get this started?
Well, let's start with the local aspect of AngelFax. I'm born and raised in Akron, Ohio, and I've owned a number of companies through my professional career. And about 3 years ago, I launched AngelFax. And I'll describe it as a telecommunications offering. And my background in owning another company, Single Number Communications, has given me a lot of knowledge of how to deliver phone and fax solutions.
Something everybody needs.
It really is a core part of the business, and it's interesting just how much many small businesses overpay for their telecommunications. But that's another story. So as I have accumulated experience and age, it became apparent to me as I participated with some nonprofits just how exhausting the traditional method of fundraising is for those nonprofits. I mean, they spend so much of their time and energy into their fundraising efforts. And I just thought at some point, what if I could bring my telecommunications experience into play for these nonprofits? And AngelFax was born.
Now, why did you choose the name? Where did that come from?
Well, Angel and fax, we certainly feel that what AngelFax does, it provides fax solutions, but it does it in a very giving and generous way. So that sort of brought in the Angel name, Angel Funding or anything like that.
Okay.
So what I did is I brought my fax knowledge of how to deliver fax solutions into a way to fund a nonprofit that you care about. So just briefly, here are AngelFax prospects. Any individual or business that pays their local phone company for a fax line. We ask them to switch from AT&T or Comcast or Spectrum, depending on what part of the country they're in, change their fax service from their local phone company to AngelFax.
Okay, so you can help it. It doesn't have to be just in this area. It can be anybody, anywhere.
We have a national reach.
Okay.
And so why switch your fax service from your local provider? Well, changing your fax solution to AngelFax, you keep your existing number, which is obviously important to companies. You continue to pay the same amount that you've been paying, but then 20% of your monthly payment now goes to a nonprofit that you designate.
20% is a good percentage of that.
It is a great percentage. We're very proud of that. And what's nice about it, Staci, is that everyone understands what it means. It's not 20% of the proceeds or profits. It's 20% of your payment.
Okay.
So a typical business phone line for fax is going to cost $35 to $40 a month. So 20% of that is going to generate $7 to $8 a month recurring revenue to whatever nonprofit you designate. And that's another nice aspect of AngelFax. It's not our decision where that 20% goes. It's our client's decision to designate what nonprofit they have a passion for.
So how does that work? They just pick anyone that they want to, and then you forward it on, or how do you set that?
Yeah, so on a quarterly basis, we make distributions to the nonprofits that are designated. So once the client pays us on a quarterly or monthly basis, then every quarter we send 20% of their payment to the nonprofit. For the individual or business, their fax expense continues to be a business expense, and then AngelFax actually makes the payment to the nonprofit, and we include a very nice letter to the nonprofit making them aware of how the payment was generated. So we list the company or the individual and tell them that due to them switching their fax service to AngelFax, It allows us to send out checks to deserving nonprofits. And all of this is done, Stacy, without anyone spending any additional money.
I was going to say, it seems like a no-brainer, a win-win, where they're not really having to go out and try to, solicit anyone,
Right.
and they're benefiting at the same time. It's an expense they would have had anyway because
Correct.
they're conducting business or having to do whatever.
I have found that people that become aware of AngelFax describe it as a no-brainer,
Yeah.
especially if they have a passion for a nonprofit or
Right.
for their community. Here's a nice way to contribute to a good cause without having to come out of your pocket with some additional money. If you're going to pay for a fax line,
Yeah.
why not position that expense to fund a cause you care about?
Right. Now, is that also something that they can use? Is it a tax write-off for them?
It
Since-
isn't. It
no?
continues to be a business
Business.
expense, just
Okay.
like their previous fax expense was.
Okay.
And AngelFax makes the distribution, so we get the nonprofit tax
Okay.
benefit to doing that. But our clients know that 20% of that
Right.
payment is going. And nonprofits, they're becoming my biggest cheerleader, actually. So a nonprofit will switch their fax service to AngelFax, designate themselves
Well, that makes sense.
to receive the 20%, so it's an immediate 20% cost savings, but then
Right.
they can go out to their donors and supporters and mention, hey, we recently switched our fax service to a company called AngelFax. The reason we did that is 20% of the payment goes to whatever nonprofit you designate, Mr. Donor, Mr. Supporter, Mr. Business Partner of ours. If you pay for
Yeah.
a fax line, would you consider switching to AngelFax and designating our nonprofit to receive the 20%?
I think that's great, and everybody needs. I mean, there's still so many businesses that use faxing today. I mean, I know there's different methods of communication, which is email or actual post, in the mail, but so many still need that.
Well, this
that
may
method.
surprise you, but people have kind of poo-pooed faxing for the last decade, but still 50% of all brick and mortar businesses still pay for a fax line. And the question is not how much faxing do you do? The question is, do you pay for a fax line?
Right.
And if you pay for a fax line, let's position that expense to fund a cause you care for. And faxing has actually made a resurgence in certain industries such as healthcare and financial industries where they can no longer email personal information due to HIPAA compliance. So
no,
you've
that
actually
makes
seen a
perfect sense.
resurgence of faxing in certain industries. And if you think about banks, insurance companies, attorneys, real estate, mortgage.
Anything with sensitive information that might be
Well, faxing is still a part of their business.
Right.
So
Okay.
they pay for
seems
fax
a pretty
line.
secure way of doing it too.
And another thing that we can look at doing is provide options for our clients. So if they need a traditional fax solution, fine, we deliver it that way. Or they can convert their tired old fax line to fax to email. So a lot of our, what I'll call solopreneurs, I think of financial representatives, attorneys, insurance guys,
Okay.
they are very attracted to the fax to email because it fits their mobile workday better. And so we provide options on the type of solution you want, and options are good for most individuals.
Because a lot of people do things not necessarily the same way, but they still have that initial need of getting that information out. So now they have a choice. It sounds good.
So it's just kind of interesting as I've grown older and gotten more involved in the community. I just really saw just how difficult it is for these nonprofits to generate revenue. And if you're on the list of donors in the city that you live, it's overwhelming how many asks you get.
Right.
So here's a way to support a cause you care about without spending any additional money. And at AngelFax, we say get your halo on. And if you're going to pay for a fax line, why not position it in a manner to fund a cause you care about? Now, you may not be thrilled to pay for your fax service, but at least with AngelFax, Stacy, you'll feel a little better about
Right.
making that payment
You know that
since
you're
it's supporting.
contributing to a worthy cause. And there are so many, like you said, there are so many nonprofit organizations out there, and there's not enough support to go around. So if there's somebody that, if you're doing a check or a fundraiser for one, but you're doing this fax for another, then you can actually find ways to contribute to more places if that's what you like to do and what you can do. It sounds like I said before, it's a no-brainer.
And I would encourage other business owners or service providers to think about a way that they could maybe duplicate the AngelFax model. Now, 20% of your gross revenues is a big chunk of change, and it kind of conveys that the local phone companies are charging you a lot more than they need to, as I've found a way to redirect 20% of the revenues. But other businesses out there, if you're socially conscientious, if you care about your community, people respond very positively to this approach. And consumers, and I'll speak to maybe some of the larger companies out there in the marketplace, that consumers now are looking more and more at the behavior of the companies that they do business with, and they want to see this socially conscientious approach of combining good deeds with good business in the communities that these firms work and live in. So we're very proud at AngelFax. AngelFax has been around for 3 years now. We're gaining more and more momentum as people find out about us. Staci, your description of being a no-brainer is what I hear all the time. And for our prospects out there, it's very easy to port your fax number. Within the telecommunications arena, it's referred to as porting, where you take a phone number from one carrier and take it to another, and we can peel off just the fax line and not interrupt any of the other phone lines or internet service.
I was wondering about that too.
Yeah,
I think some people might be worried about that's already in their package or something, that they wouldn't allow them to do it, but they can.
Yeah, and some people will say, well, all my services are bundled. And really what that means is that you're just paying one provider for all the services, phones, fax, and internet. And believe me, we can peel away just the fax number. Your payment obligation goes away to the local phone company. You begin paying AngelFax, the same amount that you've been paying, and then 20% of that monthly payment goes to whatever nonprofit you designate. It's not, again, it's not our decision. It's wherever your passion lies.
Are you able to mention some of those that have benefited from this, some of the nonprofits that you work with?
Sure. I mean, some of the national ones that people will recognize are Boys and Girls Clubs. We're supporting them. St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis. Shriners Hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio. In the Akron area, Haven of Rest, South Street Ministries, Open M. And then churches are another arena that people will designate their churches oftentimes to receive 20%. So again,
yeah, that's a great idea. I didn't even think about that. Something that they go to every week, or want to contribute to if they can't. And
absolutely,
that's one way to do it.
Absolutely. So for anyone seeing this video and conversation, turn your heads and come up with some of those businesses or institutions that pay for a fax line, and I'd be happy to talk to them about it or just convey how easy the process is.
Sure. And if they don't necessarily have one in mind, they could even get suggestions from you. You have access to so many now, and you're aware of more than maybe they even know are out there. So I think that's great. Or can they? And it has to just be nonprofits.
501c3 organization.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then that's easily to look up as well. You can easily see which organizations qualify for that. Anything else that we want to relay? I think we've covered most everything.
Yeah, I just appreciate the opportunity to share what a kid from Akron, Ohio is doing. We certainly hope to expand AngelFax to more and more places, and people have been very receptive to the concept of changing their fax service to AngelFax so they can support a cause they care for.
Okay. Well, great. I mean, I want to encourage our viewers to check out AngelFax, and you have a website that they can go to?
AngelFax.com. You can find us on Facebook as well.
Okay.
And
is there a phone number they can call?
They certainly can. They can reach Bill Kirk, myself, at 330-237-1111. 330-237-1111. And would be happy to talk to you, and I would encourage you to support a cause you feel passionate about by considering switching to AngelFax.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for coming today and letting us know what this is all about, and we're happy to have our viewers be able to understand and know more about it. And as Bill said, he can help you with any of the questions you might have or any of the organizations you may want to know where you can help. Go to that website and be able to help you today.
And get your halo on.
Yes. Thank you very much for
All right,
watching.
Staci, thanks.
Thank you.